You are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird brain. It's a plane. It's iWalter. iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
All right. Hey, everyone. This is Walter on iWalter on August 1st, 2015. Yeah, it's hard to believe it's another month going by. I made sure to turn stuff off. I actually did hear my fan in the background as I listened to my show from yesterday. So I made sure to turn it off. I just want to do a quick plug, by the way, because actually I'm going to take the hypocritical oath on this one thing, maybe multiple things, but this was at Micro Center where I had bought the Microsoft Surface, and I had, a Surface 2. I got it really cheap. I think I only paid like $250 or something. So anyway, I was ready to get rid of it, and some guy was maybe a little bit more. It was something like that. And this one guy at work said, "Oh, I'll buy it off you. I'll give you like less than half what I paid for it." I even bought an extended warranty for Micro Center, which, again, I have to admit their warranties are really good. So I said, "Oh, yeah, I'll give you X amount of dollars for it." And it's like, that's not going to even cover the warranty I bought for it, dude. I'm not going to sell it. This guy at work. And I said, I'm going to hold on to it because now I can use it on my Xbox as well. And it was like, I'm not a really big Microsoft fan, but, I got this pretty cheap. And the reason I mentioning it was because I actually did use a little bit more tonight, because it was like, it is paper thin. It's the Microsoft Surface 2. The Surface 3 is much bigger. It's like a lot bigger to screen. But it was like, what impressed me finally with Microsoft is I didn't realize it was always there, but they actually have an Apple. I think it's called the DisplayPort, micro DisplayPort, whatever. Well, that's a thing that's only on Apple products. It's on the Apple monitors. But I've never was able to find anything that, used besides Apple stuff. And, I'm a big Apple person for the last couple of years. So, it's called basically a DisplayPort. So anyway, wow, I could have got the cable here. But anyway, yeah, I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. But what was I going to say? I'm sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, they actually used the actual DisplayPort. So, on the Microsoft Surface, it was like, wow, let me try this out at a monitor at work. And because I use my Apple laptop, I hook it up to a monitor at my job. And it was like, wow, it actually uses the same one Apple uses. And it works really good. So I figured I have an external Blu-ray player, which I hook up to my Apple because it works better than the one that was built in my laptop. And I was like, let me see if I can work this off the Surface, because the Surface actually has, the one I have has an i5 chip, Intel i5 dual core with hyper-threaded on, which means it's like a quad core. And it was like, yeah, this works really nice, at least for that, basic web browsing. You get like the features under the new Windows, which pretty much is the same as the Xbox for what I use it for. I have no interest in doing any serious editing or production work on that. But for like the basic use, it was like, wow, this is actually a little bit better than I expected. Probably a lot better. It is faster than 8.1 was. But basically, they did kind of mask, which kind of got me a little annoyed. I didn't realize until I actually got on the full screen monitor that they took that start screen and they made it into a start bar. So it's still exactly the same thing. It was just readjusting the way it looked, but it is faster again. So I figure, you know what, this is good because I was able to pick up on Amazon for like $8 a DisplayPort cable that goes to HDMI. And it's like, okay, what are you going to use that for? Well, that combined with my Surface 2, and it's, you know, under Microsoft warranty plus an extended warranty from, what do you call it, from, and it came right from Microsoft, the refurbished Surface 2 I have. But I bought it at Micro Center, but I got an extended warranty for 2 years on that thing, and I haven't used it yet up until now. Anyway, the thing is I can hook up my external Blu-ray player. So it has a Blu-ray player that works perfectly fine. I had to spend like $40 on the software for the Blu-ray player. It's the same one I actually had for my Mac at one point. Same company makes it for both Windows 10, and they've made it in the past for Apple. So I known this product. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I'm going to see. I might even open my email real quick. But it was something that actually worked really good. It's actually the same company that makes VLC, but they made basically a copy that you can buy because VLC is free. So, yeah, it was pretty nice. And I had it in the past. I used to watch all like Blu-rays when I was watching them on my Mac. I'd use this program. I was like, okay, I know this program. It works really well, so I'm going to stick with it. I think I found the name of the program. It's actually called Mac Go Windows Blu-ray Player. You know, Mac, like, you know, Macintosh. But they actually made a version now for the PC, and it was like, great. And they actually made one that was updated for Windows 10, which just came out. And it was like, that's even better yet. So I tried it out. I didn't have any Blu-rays to save for on hand, but the nice thing is, though, at least, it does actually work really well. You got a little bit more horsepower than the Core 2 Duo I have in my Apple laptop, which it plays fine because Apple is just a whole different animal to begin with anyway. So anything you have on any Apple is going to work excellently. So yeah, so that was definitely nice. And but the reason for me is like, why are you putting more money? Well, I already had this stuff, so it's not even that I'm like wasting any money, but technically. But the nice thing is, though, now I just got to do something real quick. I can, with that HDMI cable, if I go on vacation or something like that, I'll have because the nice thing about the Surface, it is pretty thin. There's not much girth to it. It's not much thickness. It's not very big. It's easy to carry. So that being said, the nice thing is I could actually just hook that up because most TVs I've seen lately in hotels I stay at, they're basically they're basically got HDMI connectors on there. So I can just hook up that Surface right to, to the TV set, basically, with the HDMI cable I now have. And I have a very mobile, very portable, basically Blu-ray player. And if the Blu-ray, if I have any, because I buy some DVDs that are Region 2 and so on. Well, if I want to play any of those, I got the best of both worlds because all I have to do is, open up DVDs that are not Region 1 on the Surface and under VLC, and they will play perfectly fine. There won't be any issues there. So that, again, that's perfect. I will not have any hassles on anything I would bring along with me. And obviously, the Surface is not going to take up much room. And the laptop, I can just leave that to do what I always do, which is basically, web browse, check email, look on Facebook, things like that. So I really liked it for that fact, and it's not going to add much more. I can throw both my laptop and the Surface in the same compartment in my new duffel bag I got. So it was like, hey, this is perfect. It's not taking any more room up. And the Blu-ray player I have takes up even less room. It's like all the stuff is pretty compact. So that being said, I was like really happy. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna mention this next. And you know what? It was funny. I was looking for. Don't ask me why, because I bought it a million times. I was looking for copies of Star Wars that were, altered or basically added to that Lucas did. So I was doing that all day today before work. And here I found out that I guess it was probably not even just recently. It might have been as far as back as a couple years ago. When Disney actually bought Lucasfilms, they actually did release those movies. I'm talking the original Star Wars, which was not called Episode 5, but the original Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and the Return of the Jedi, ones that weren't tarnished by Lucas coming back. They said that, yeah, we're going to release those, and they actually released them as Blu-rays as well. So, yeah, they definitely fixed everything, but they didn't ruin everything. So that was kind of cool. But I don't know if I have the money right now to buy those. Another thing that's been really alarming, I was looking for stories, by the way, tonight. And most of the stories just seem to always circle around, these kids getting abducted. And it's like in Philadelphia, there was a couple cases. And little kids, all different types of nationalities, whatever you want to say. But, yeah, it's just like I got to the point, it's like, why? I don't want to bookmark this anymore. It's just getting, like, really kind of disturbing. So, that being said, there was even an older girl, which I found. This was on iFoxPhilly.com. After this one, it was like, it's not a little kid, but it's still in the same direction. And I hate to say it, this guy looks like the people that we're afraid to let in our country. I assume he was already here, but I already can't pronounce his name, but it was in Detroit, Michigan. This guy who was dating this woman, the woman had a 15-year-old girl, and this guy who was dating the mom decided to have a sexual relationship with her daughter, who was only 15. Now, the guy was like 36. And if you want to find his story, because I don't want to botch up his name, I try to like memorize it, and this is not going to work. But it's on the web link, myfoxphilly.com, and it says girl 15 who ran off with a sex offender. That's the other thing. He was a sex offender, too. Once again, I'm a normal guy. I can't find any fucking woman, but these sex offenders, these criminals, they seem to like, these women flock to them, even these little girls. Not that I want a little girl, but with sex offender thought she was pregnant, which apparently the mom said, there's a video that goes with it, said that she is not. She was just basically brainwashed by this guy. But yeah, the guy's 36, the girl's 15, and he had a 5-month sexual relationship with this girl, and he took off with her. It's like there's a group called Fugazi, but it kind of looks like that, but it's not the way you say this guy's name. And he escaped with this girl all the way down to Texas from Michigan, and they caught up with him. Because the girl's 15, but it's just I just don't understand what is going on in this world. Hey, there was another one I saw when I was looking through Facebook. This one kind of like. It's like, whoa, it actually did make me want to step back because it was like really weird. Sorry, I get easily distracted, so as you may have noticed. This was in PA. It was actually the morning call. PA school closes venomous spider because venomous spiders were found for the third time. Venomous spiders. I hate fucking spiders. So this was it said like Mercerburg. It was in Pennsylvania. This elementary school was closed down, they said, again, because, again, of venomous spiders. So they have some picture of a spider. I don't know if that's if that's the one they're talking about. But it looks like an ordinary spider, but apparently it's very poisonous. So, that kind of had taken me by surprise. I forgot the main reason I actually wanted to do a show tonight, so I apologize. But I have to also. I usually, when I see something that I am wrong about, I will correct myself, and especially because is going to be pertaining to work. But I was actually wrong. I was actually taken back, and trust me, I was not upset about it at all. But I question too, by the way, because I think a lot of the stuff I say on my podcast, I'm wondering somehow, some way, if at least one person from my job has actually listened to my show, because it gets posted on all these social media websites. But anyway, the one girl I always complain about who dresses inappropriately, apparently miraculously not only dressed appropriately, but she actually ended up at our meeting today that she was supposed to attend yesterday, but miraculously she made it on time. So there's a lot of fishy stuff that goes on that I just don't understand. And I'm very paranoid because of what happened. I mentioned this, I think, yesterday at my college that I had attended, which was Cabrini, and how they, for me making comments on a web page that I had designed, which was basically cut and paste. Not that I know anything about C++, because trust me, I do not. But yeah, I found myself in my advisor's office with a threat of $100,000 held against me, and also being found unstable. So I don't trust many people, hardly anybody. But anyway, I went to work tonight, and it was like, okay, I'm looking that, okay, I'm going to come to work. This woman who's being trained is going to tell me, and I actually built myself up to expect this, which is where I made the mistake, though. This is where I'm saying, I apologize, I was wrong, and I was glad about it, too, trust me. But yeah, this woman she's a very nice lady, don't get me wrong, she's a very nice lady, but I just had this bad feeling that I'm going to come to work, and she was by herself all day, that she's not going to get, like, we had this one last room in my job. We have different rooms we clean during the course of a week, that she's going to say, well, I couldn't do it because I'm still being trained. And I came in, and I could not be more pleased. She really surprised me in a very good way. She said, oh, yeah, I cleaned the last rooms that had to be cleaned. It was like by yourself. And then the thing was, in her defense, these rooms were really crowded. I mean, there was at least, probably in the rooms that this woman had to clean today, there had to be at any given time about up to 18 people in just this one room. It's a big room, but it's just really difficult to clean. So when she told me, she said, "Oh yeah, I cleaned this last room, these last couple rooms that had to be cleaned." It was like, "You really did?" And it was like, "Wow, thank you." And I must have thanked her a million times. So again, I will apologize if I'm wrong. And I stick to that. I'm not going to be that much of a doofus that I can't even admit that I'm wrong. Oh, sorry about this. I just saw this too. They're having a Doctor Who, the new one with Peter Capaldi in the movie theaters. It's called it was on TV, but it's in 3D this time. Doctor Who, Dark Water, and Death in Heaven in 3D with exclusive Series 9 prequel scenes. Special event nations. They're going to show it in movie theaters. I'm going to have to look at that later on. Says September 15th and 16th. I got to make sure I'm not doing anything already. The only thing is, yeah, it's always during the freaking week. So I don't know if I have time to do that. I generally do go to these things. But I don't know if I have, again, I'm about to take a rather lengthy personal time off. Make sure I don't have anything else scheduled already because I have concerts and stuff. I'm going to check right now. But selected theaters go. Sorry about that. I didn't expect to get this easily distracted. Yep. It's playing at the marketplace. Yeah, so if you're interested, I'm got distracted when I saw Doctor Who. I was like, well, hey, back in the movie. It seems like it's really popular when I do that. But yes, I need to, once again, apologize because this woman at work, thank you so much for doing your work. The other girl actually wised up, so I'm just wondering if somebody gave her a heads up, or maybe herself or somebody else actually listens to my radio show. I don't know. Hey, I'll get listener, I'll take any listener I can get, good or bad, I guess, at this point. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering, because I'm not really sure of this guy, but it's been on Facebook. Rodney Piper passed away. So it says director John Carpenter pays tribute to Rodney Piper. Has to come here to chew bubblegum and kiss ass. I'm out of bubblegum. Rest in peace. So I'm not sure. I might have seen him in some movies or something like that. Says who directed former WWE superstar Rodney Piper in The Cult. I might have seen him. If he was in a Carpenter film, I probably did see him. But yeah, unfortunately, he wasn't that old either, so kind of weird. Just taking a little breather, so I apologize again, which I'm very good at. See if there's anything, because there was a couple things I thought I was going to read. Yeah, a lot of dead space, I know. A lot of dead space. Yeah, I'm almost done with that series of Ghost Whisperer, which I'll, kind of hate when it's done with. Excuse me. Excuse me. I am extremely tired, folks. So, yes, I'll be doing a lot of yawning. I might put this, I don't know if this is just a hoax or something like that, but the Lexus company is making a hoverboard. A hoverboard as like the one in Back to the Future 2. And this is the second time I've seen this article come up in an article, and this time it's Digital Trends. I saw it before, about a few weeks ago. And it says, are you ready for the future? Lexus is to unveil its Slide hoverboard August 5th. So we're finding out if this is just a bogus thing or is this for real. And they actually do make reference to the Back to the Future. It says McFly's arrival. So, yeah, but it's made by the company Lexus. But it's not this division. It's a Lexus, which I think it's some other car company. But it was like, it is a Japanese company, I think. But, yeah, somewhere overseas. Yeah, I'm just kind of curious. It'd be neat to see. Okay, yeah, here's another story. Boy, he did age pretty badly, though. Rodney Piper is another article I posted up, and it says Rodney Piper died at 61. That's still not that old, though. That was funny. Speaking about that, I really kind of scared me, too. One show I used to, or show, it was, yeah, I guess it was kind of a show. They show these horror movies from back in the past. They were all these B horror movies. This was when I was growing up, by the way. It was Dr. Shock. I was like a little kid. I was like 10 or 12 years old. My mom would watch it every Saturday morning. It was on Channel 17 in Philadelphia. So I loved a lot of these movies. I think one was called The Screaming Skull. I could never think of which one it was. I think that was the one that Dr. Shock used to show. And it really, I was so scared by that movie as a little kid that I had it's a black and white movie, that I had a blanket over my head, sweating my balls off because I was like so afraid. Because it was like this woman who was just a skeleton that was in this greenhouse, and she came and was roaming around, and it just like, it was the most petrifying thing I've ever saw. It scared the crap out of me, like literally. Anyway, Dr. Shock, I didn't know that. I saw him when I was a little kid at this bookstore not too far down. I think it's called Paper Trader or something. It's right down from Montgomery County Community College. And my oldest brother at the time, this was a long time ago, I was a little kid, and I was starstruck. That was the first time I actually saw what I thought was a star. I saw Dr. Shock. He was doing these meet and greets, book sign-ins, whatever, for free at this Book Borders or whatever, or a Paper Trader. And I was so starstruck by seeing him. I got like I couldn't even like approach him. I was just too scared because it was like, oh my God, this guy I see on TV, he's a big celebrity. I didn't realize he was from like, you know what, I forget now. But because Stella came from there too. My one friend that liked Stella, they said that she came out of like, I guess, from him. I put Doctor Who in. I got that stuck in my mind now, so I gotta retype up. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Dr. Shock, PHL TV 17. But he died at 42. That was the thing. Yeah, he was born in, I was born in 67. He was born in 1969, so he was actually younger than me. Oh, no. Years active, 1969 to 1979. Either way, though, he actually died at age 42. I'm 48, so that's, like, really scary. So I outlived him. I'm trying to look where he was from, though. I know I saw it earlier. History. Here's... I thought it was like Manayunk or something. Sorry about that. I don't like keeping dead space. Yeah, it doesn't. Well, there was one that actually said he was somewhere like, because if you ever heard of Stella I think it was Up All Night. She was from, I think, the same neck of the woods as he was. You know, she basically like kind of, I guess, was influenced by him. Yeah, he was from Manayunk. And I think Stella, I believe, my one friend Matt would probably be able to correct me. But yeah, Stella actually, you know, I guess got influenced by Dr. Shock. And he really was I loved that man. I thought he was so cool back in the day. It was something that caught my eye I was going to read. Besides these kids getting abducted and kidnapped all the time. A friend sent me an article. It was kind of weird. It said, World Championship bodybuilder, this guy named Matt, looks like Crossley or something. It's like some weird name. He came out as a transgender. And it's kind of funny. It looks like they put some woman's head on his body in a dress, because I can't believe that's him dressed up as a woman, because it looks like two different people. But my friend found that on NewYorkDailyNews.com, and I don't think he's got any surgery done yet. Oh, yeah, it was funny. I had to send this to a friend because he's a really big Crow fan, and it was on Bloody Disgusting Got Tom, because he was really upset when he heard that they might remake the movie The Crow, because somebody like really died in real life making that movie. The main character, you know, died making that film, so he didn't want to see that remade. He thought that, like, that's just disrespect. And I think it was, I was going to say Bruce Lee's, but let's see, because I forget. I don't remember much of anything, so. Director, The Crow series, The Crow, IMDb. Oh, Brandon Lee, yes. Brandon Lee was the one who got killed in the film, and Bruce Lee was his... Wow, she's hot. Sorry about that. I'm looking at this woman who played in that movie. Didn't realize how incredible looking she was. But yeah, but Brandon Lee got killed making that film, and they weren't even finished it. So they had to get like a body double, the one who played the stunt guy for Brandon Lee, to finish it out. But yeah, Bruce Lee was his dad. And a lot of people, I think, were really upset when they said, oh, we're going to redo, you know, they're remaking everything, but they're going to remake that film. And here there was a thing on BloodyDisgusting.com anyway, and they basically said that that's not going to happen. It says The Crow remake dies before resurrection, and basically I think a lot of people are happy. I think it just went bankrupt is what it said. Yeah, it says Relativity Media is declaring bankruptcy on the remake of James O'Barr's The Crow. So the friend was really happy that that's going to be no bad puns intended, but it's a dead issue. So he was just glad to see that's not going to be remade, because that's just very disrespectful to Brandon Lee, because the man died making that film, and he was the main character. I never really liked the film that much, but, you got to respect somebody who gets killed, making a film. I mean, that happened actually in The Twilight Zone, the movie. Some guy accidentally got killed. I think it was the one when they redid the scene with the airplane. I think it was that one. Originally, that was done with William Shatner in the original Twilight Zone, but when they redid it, somebody actually physically got killed in real life. I always find these stories, and some of them are just more disturbing, and I'm not going to really read the thing. I do better when I don't. But there was one on Christopher Morbid Lee, and it says Theodore Peterson killed disabled son before committing suicide with a nail gun. And it looks like DeForest. What is WI? Is that Wisconsin, I think? I think that's Wisconsin. Yeah, I can't say it right, but yeah. I saw that story, and it was kind of like heartbreaking to see that somebody would actually do that. Maybe he just felt like his son was in so much pain if he was disabled that he didn't want his son to suffer anymore, and he just couldn't live without him, I assume. I'm not going to read it, but it was on, like I said, it was on that Christopher Morbid Lee, which is actually very similar to the Dream and Demon, if not the same thing. Hey, this was pretty interesting. It says, The Creepy Girl from the Ring. This article, by the way, was on Share. I got to look at this one. Shareable Galleries for All.me. And it says, The Creepy Girl from the Ring is all grown up. And she actually is. It basically says, and damn, like, damn, she's hot. Well, she really is, too. She's incredible looking. It's hard to believe it's the same girl, but obviously she was in a lot of makeup, too. I don't like to give any acknowledgement to the Huffington Post, but there's a bearded article on the bearded ladies having a beard means not living in fear. And this woman's got green hair. She's a bearded woman. She's got big boobies. She's kind of on the heavy side, too. Tattoos everywhere. A nose piercing. I'm just like giving you a description of what she has. And green freaking hair, like the same green as the Joker. So it's bad enough she's got a beard, but then she's got all this goofy getup on, too. So it does not help the issue of her having a beard. I mean, women can get that fixed if they wanted to. Obviously, she's living it up, this woman. There's some story I can't even read. It was another Dream and Demon story where this woman accused of murdering her son by forcing him to overdose on Benadryl. And it's another place. But, yeah, you can find some really weird stories. Again, they're either on Dream and Demon or that other one I mentioned. I have to look at it again. Christopher Morbid Lee. Somebody sent me a story. A friend sent me a story. It was on the conservativepost.com. Muslim immigrant beats 12-year-old boy for having blue eyes. And they show a picture of this kid's face that got beaten up. This little kid. It's pretty scary. It's pretty sad. 15-year-old boy in Hellsberg has been sentenced for assault of threatening another boy because of his blue eyes. That is really sad. A friend sent this as a joke, I guess, and it was on Patch.com. Wow, I didn't know that. NewCityPatch.com. Rabbi not guilty in child sex abuse. Was in Rockland County. He actually was living in Rockland County for a while, this one friend. So, yeah, this Thursday, the case about the sexual abuse of a boy. The Journal News reports the district attorney said in 2014, the New Square residents sexually abused the boy with increasing frequency for more than 4 years. Basically, this man was 56 years old, and the father of 20 had pleaded of 20. I guess, father of 20, had pleaded not guilty. Let's see what the outcome was. Defense attorney, pressure was, I don't know, but pleaded not guilty, and he was up on multiple counts of sexual assault. So, that was on in the Rockland County area that the story was about. It's kind of funny what you can find. Yeah, rabbi not guilty of child sexual abuse, and his trial came up, and he pleaded not guilty. This one was kind of funny. Not that one, trust me. This one was on the Daily Mail UK, and it says, "Revenge of the Bulletproof Armadillo. Texas man shot after bullet he had fired at the animal ricocheted off the shell of the armadillo and hit the man." So there's only 2 pictures. I thought that was just hilarious. I didn't think their shells were that strong, but I guess that was a dish served, whatever you call it. What is that? Revenge is a dish served cold, or I forget, but it was just kind of funny, the story. Yeah. There was something, I'm going to look at it now, chillertv.com. 13 terrifying summer camp movies, I guess. Camp Crystal Lake from Friday the 13th, number 1. I love reading this stuff. This is the Friday the 13th on Chiller channel. There was one thing disturbing, is they're actually showing that Camp Crystal Lake from Friday the 13th they're showing is the one Friday the 13th where the kid, like, you felt so bad for him. He was a camp counselor, and he's in a wheelchair. He's handy capable. He's like, literally, he can't get out of the wheelchair because he's paralyzed. His legs are paralyzed. And Jason Voorhees kills him by putting an axe to his head. It was like, I remember that. I don't even have to watch it because I've seen those movies a million times. And it was like, that is like really wrong. It's like that movie that really bothered me actually was, believe it or not, and I love the movie, don't get me wrong, was this other movie called Final Destination. And it was like, this is the cruelest thing you can put in the movie, is that first one where they're in the plane, and there was a guy that was basically, he was like not retarded, but he was like, he had something wrong on the plane. Like he was basically a vegetable. This guy was like a complete vegetable. One of the passengers on the plane, they show babies and stuff. And then they have that premonition, the kids that were supposed to get on the plane, that everybody's going to die, including that guy. And that guy gets like blown out of the plane. The guy who's like retarded or paraplegic or whatever, or, got something wrong. It was like, that is the cruelest fucking joke you could actually put into a movie or even insinuate. And if, just thinking about it, I was like, that is so cruel for even God to even do something like that to either a child or somebody who really cannot take care of themselves because they're a complete vegetable. That just was the most disturbing part of that whole film. It just like gets me upset when I think about it. Anyway, number 2 on the camp movies on Chiller was Camp Blackfoot and Camp Stonewater from the Burnin'. I don't think I've seen that. Number 3 was Camp Awake from Sleepaway Camp. I can't say it right. I did watch the Sleepaway Camp movies. They were all like out of like New Jersey, I think, those films, because they were local films, on the East Coast, which is unheard of. Number 4 was Camp Rolling Hills from Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Campers, and Camp New Horizon from Sleepaway Camp 3, Teenage Wasteland. They show some video of it too. Number 5 was Camp Hiawatha from the Camp Slaughter, a.k.a. Camp Days. I definitely did not see that one. This one I haven't seen either. Number 6, Happy Day Bible Camp from Bloody Bloody Bible Camp. Never even heard of it. Women look pretty hot. They look really hot, in fact. Number 7, North Sea Cottages for Gifted Children from Mad Men. That movie actually was suggested to me by my one friend Matt, was the movie Madman. He said, yeah, you got to check that film out. He said, when I was a kid, it really scared me and another friend. And I did check it out. It was pretty interesting, actually. He said it really frightened him, though. Number 8 was Camp Sunspot from Caesar and Otto's Summer Camp Massacre. No, I'd never seen that one. Number 9 was Camp Placid Pines from Bloody Murder. Never saw that one. And I love horror movies. Number 10 was Camp Hurrah from Cheerleader Camp, a.k.a. Bloody Pom Poms. Never saw that one. Number 11, Lost River Summer Camp from Piranha. I did see the Piranha movies, all 3 of them, actually. Number 12, Center Stage Camp for the Performing Arts from Stage Fright. I don't think I've seen that one. And number 13, Camp Chippewa from Addams Family Values. Definitely did not see that. I'm sorry, I did not. So it was pretty interesting. I have to break things up all the time. I did post something on Dr. Shock on my thing. Yeah, I got to look at this one too. I might read it. Moviepilot.com. Friday the 13th, things to expect in a new reboot. One word came out that the next installment of the Friday the 13th series will be a reboot. Many fans have wondered what to expect for the upcoming 2016 movie. Here is a list of the top 5 things to expect in the next entry in the famous horror franchise. Well, maybe I won't read like the under things, but I will read the titles of the 5, the 5 things that were listed. I see, yeah, everybody's or whatchamacallit, because I'm really bad with names. But when they did the reboot, first time around, they did the reboot on Friday the 13th, it had the one guy from Supernatural, so that's the main reason I seen it. And plus, I'm a big Friday the 13th fan. I've seen all of them, every single one of them. Number 5, another young up and coming cast is number 5. Number 4, it will have a connection to some of the films. Because I thought was going to come. Yeah, here we go again. Cunningham, the guy Cunningham, because I saw him, I thought going to be a little bit responsible for this film. It's not Richie Cunningham. I'm just bad. Sean Cunningham. Number 3, the reboot will honor Betsy Palmer, Mrs. Voorhees, because I think Betsy Palmer passed away now. She was the mom in the original one. She was actually supposed to come back for another film, like she was supposed to come back as like a zombie or whatever, and they never did that. Number 2, the whole new Jason Voorhees. That's what it's titled. You can read the rest. Again, it's on moviepilot.com if you're remotely interested. Number 1 was Jason's original origins to finally be explained. What do you want to see in the 2016's Friday the 13th? I really like those films, and I've seen, at least a couple of the actors, even the little boy who played Jason Voorhees, that actually took over the franchise. So I know I'm pausing a lot tonight too. So, I'm going to leave it go maybe with this tonight. Because anybody, by the way, if you look at my webpage, you're going to see a lot of pictures of sexy women. And I just do it because there's this one woman I have that I just kind of like what she posts. It's Willow Rain, and I just take most of her stuff and put it up. She puts a lot of good articles too, though. So, I'm just like bleeding through real quick, so that's what the pause in that's going on now. Why it's being that way. Hey, this was pretty funny though. There's a picture that somebody had posted. It's on Haunted Attractions magazine, and it says, "Does anyone remember this place? Can you name where it is, where it's located?" And it says Castle. It's a attraction. It probably was like an amusement park thing, but it's a castle, and it has a skull with a skull front, And I wrote, basically wrote underneath as a comment, I said He-Man, but it actually reminded me of Grayskull. If you ever watched the TV show, when I came home from high school, when they first put on that TV show cartoon called He-Man, I used to love that. I couldn't get enough of it. And it was like, yeah, it looks like Grayskull. So I put that on, and it was like, yeah, He-Man, right? And people loved what I put. At least 2 people did. I think they understood where I was coming from. So, I explained my sexy pics if you go. And now I think I made it that people have to actually add me, by the way, because I was having too many problems if I did not do that. Because I don't want to, offend somebody and get myself in even more trouble. Yeah, there was an article on comicbook.com. It said Star Wars live-action TV shows rumored for Netflix. You didn't think that Marvel Studios was the only Disney property gunning for that sweet? I hate when they do that. But anyway, yeah, there's a thing on comicbook.com. I guess that'd be interesting, but how far are they going to drag this out, milk Star Wars? Because Lucas just came on to something that people loved, and it's just almost I love those films, but now it's almost over the top on how people are fanatics over Star Wars. And by the way, I did have a big love joke, because I see her now when she was much younger, is Carrie Fisher, especially when she was in that slinky outfit, the third one. That really, she hit a wall. I mean, she seems really cool. I don't mean that in the mean way, but she did seem to hit a wall. It's a shame. Everybody will eventually, I guess, on her looks. But she was really hot back in the day. I mean, that was almost 30, 40 years ago now. It's hard to believe. Anyway, this was funny. If you want something that's kind of lighten your weekend, I would recommend this. It was on Cinema Blend, and just watching the video is really entertaining, to say the least. And it's titled "Senior Citizens Watch the Batman vs. Superman trailer Are Adorably Baffled." And it is the most incredible thing I've seen in a long time. You got to get a chuckle. My mom was watching with me, and she was like, "It's long, though. It's really long." But it was really cute. These old people, their reactions of oh yeah, you could do that. They were taking it like it was reality with Superman and Batman. This one guy even says, "Oh, well, Superman's going to win the fight if they get in the fight, Superman and Batman." And it's not even a fair fight. And some other stuff, they were taking this this is this is really important. I know I have room to speak because I take a lot of these shows like it's really also very important. So, yeah. Oh. Sorry, I was ready to sign off, and I found some interesting stuff. One more, so another one. It says, Epic Xena reunion reunites Lucy Lawless with my favorite character. And it was on moviepilot.com. That just went up now. I never really liked that show. I think that was a Sam Raimi show, too. I didn't know that, but I think it is. After all this time, it has been 20... it's been 20 years since the first episode of Xena, the Warrior Princess, but it's great to see Xena, Lucy Lawless, and Gabrielle Renee O'Connor are close as ever. So, they're a bit much older. So is Bruce Campbell, though. But they all look really good. But, God, 20 years ago, that's really unbelievable. So, yeah, that's on Movie Pilot. I was going to, there's some other stuff, but that just really caught my attention. So, folks, I think I tortured everybody enough. So, hopefully you enjoyed my show. It is the weekend. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. And, that was another thing. Leave it go at this. But this is just crazy. And I'm looking out my window, and it's drag racing up and down the street. Not really. I'm just saying. But the one friend regrets. He works in retail as a supervisor. He's regretting going to work tomorrow. You know why? Because now that it's August 1st, every fucking deadbeat has gotten their paychecks from Obama, because most Fridays when I come home, it's not this crazy. So you got all these deadbeats who are not working, and they wait for that one paycheck that they get at the beginning of the month, and they pretty much spend it the first day they get it. But they don't. Now they're not even waiting. Now it's technically August 1st. They're already spending their money that they got from the government for not doing anything. They're spending it. They're out racing around tonight. So tonight when I was done work, I was like, I just want to go right home. I don't even want to be bothered going out because I'll end up getting killed by these jackasses that are driving because, I got paid. I can get my drug money, buy stuff that I shouldn't with the money I get from our paychecks if you work, or get some other woman pregnant that I can end up having to pay for that for their their diapers and stuff if they keep it, or for their abortion. So that was another thing. I'm not going to go into that. Russia's actually been talking about that for the whole week. I actually got to the point I kind of almost had to tune it out about those abortion clinics. They are really sad. I did put something on Facebook, not from Rush, but from some other source, where they actually show how they just take these babies that, they're literally, they're little babies that were not fully developed, little fetuses, or whatever you want to call them. I call them babies because they have arms, they have legs, they have a heart, and they have a brain. And how they treat these poor children like they're nothing. They're just tissue matter that is used to make money off of them after they're aborted. And that is like the most pathetic thing I've seen. That was on my Facebook page, by the way. Anyway, I now extended the show that I said I was going to end, so I'm going to do it now. I thought I ended on a high note, and unfortunately I did not. So I'll try to change that, but I'll try to make a show tomorrow because Sunday I will be at the Marilyn Manson concert. I did want to go to this horror fest this weekend as well, but I honestly do not have the money to do so. So everyone, even though I might have ruined people's weekend from the last thing I said, try to have a good weekend, and I will try to be back tomorrow. If not, I will see you next week. We will see. I am signing off.